Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, we're 1 day away. 1 day away. Or actually, more like, 1.5 day. Half day away from the big FOMC meeting, and all eyes are on that press conference. But how are you preparing? Well, I'm going to discuss how Michael Saylor, Ultra Bitcoin Bull, is preparing. So is he correct? And should we follow? Let's discuss this and other things that's going on in the world today. So let's get started. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and make sure you follow my other channels as well. All right. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Someone says they're going to put on their adult diapers. Well, that may not be a bad idea before tomorrow's big press conference. So right now, we can see Bitcoin has been trending down since this morning. Little bit. We're about 18.9. Obviously not in a good place when we're below 19,000. Right? Would have been nice if we held above 20,000. But that's because, you know what? U.S. market tanked today. And tomorrow's looking not that good either. And that's because everyone's just waiting to see what this guy right here, right on the front page, what he is going to do and what he is going to say, right? Everyone is trying to guess how much Powell will raise rates by tomorrow. And I know this is just a U.S. thing, but whenever, the saying is like, if Wall Street sneezes, everyone catches a cold, something like that. Okay, I butchered that. But you guys get my drift, right? So tomorrow will be a huge day. This will definitely affect what Wall Street's going to do. It's going to affect, unfortunately, what Bitcoin and crypto is going to do. And it's going to affect world economies worldwide as everyone's looking at the dollar and DXY and other things like the U.S. Treasury, right? So all of this is in line, in play. And that is why today there were a lot of fear. Take a look at this. It's anticipated tomorrow will be 75 basis points, right? It even says so right there. There's an off chance it may be 100 basis points. Very low chance of that, but there's a slight chance. And if that happens, it's not going to be pretty tomorrow. But you know what? Wells Fargo came out and said, you know what? Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Let's just go for 150 basis points. And that is not something anyone wants. Okay? But there are a lot of people that think that the Fed and Powell is just too slow with his rate hikes. That we need to be, front-loading a lot more. Right now, we're about 2.5%, 2.25, 2.5% overall. We need to be above 4% by the end of the year. And what better way to just do it up front, right? Like just push us to 4% with 150 basis point. At least that's what one guy from Wells Fargo, what he thinks. Even though he believes that it's not going to happen, but there are many that are making case that Powell needs to be a lot more aggressive. The slow rate hikes are not going to do it, especially since inflation and CPI is already above 8%. This morning I showed a graph. Traditionally speaking, the Fed rate has been higher than the CPI or inflation rate forever. It's always been like that. We're in the only time when we're trailing so much and there's such a big margin between inflation and the fund rate, right? Which is why everyone's like, yeah, just raise rates. Just keep raising them. Raise. And this is how much Powell has raised the rates by so far. 25 basis points in March, 50, 75. And tomorrow we're going to get probably another 75, but maybe there's a slight chance we get 100. And this is one of those situations where the higher the number does not mean better. Okay, it does not mean like you get an A+ because it's 100. No, this is in terms of markets and how it's going to react. The higher the number is, the worse it's going to be for markets tomorrow. So, I guess we'll see. Right? We will see. There's a lot of speculation on what's going to come tomorrow. But one thing's for certain and I start paying more attention to this, and I think I'm going to create more videos that's related to macro stuff, because I know a lot of you guys been around the block. You know what's going on, or maybe you want to learn more about what's happening with some of the macro stuff. But I decided to look at the U.S. Treasury yield curve. So looking at the notes and bonds, right? That's anywhere from 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, going up to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Here's the thing. The situation we're in right now is called an inverted yield curve, meaning the 1 year and the 2 year is way higher than, say, the 7 year or the 10 year. And it's not supposed to be like that. The longer the time frame, the higher the yield is supposed to be. But the fact that it's so high and it peaks around 1 year, and then it comes down a little bit 2 and 3 years, but the fact that 1, 2, 3 are all higher than 5, 7, and 10, that's an inverted yield curve. And what does that mean? That means everyone's super, super, super bearish near term. Very bearish. In fact, so bearish that no one wants to even buy a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year bond, because they're very, very bearish near term, right? That is what's happening right now. And then on top of that, the U.S. government, the Fed, has to sell off their bonds. Remember, they're trying to reduce their balance sheet. And if no one buys, that's a problem. So they have to raise the rates on it. So you have this situation going on. So, stuff like this is very fascinating. Not in a good way. Not because what we're dealing with right now is unprecedented and it's not good overall. But, stuff like this is interesting. And I'm going to try to do more videos on it. You guys tell me if it interests you. But, looking at this, it's just not good. And fear is just really, really high. Really high right now. There's still a lot of economic data that's coming out. Single-family rents, cool for the third straight month. You're seeing home prices go down. You're seeing builders' confidence and index going down, right? Mortgages are going up, right? So we're definitely starting to see demand slow down, which is what Powell wants, right? But if it slows down too much, guess what happens? All these houses start foreclosing. You're going to have a lot of vacancies, right? A lot of rents that's unfilled. You don't want it to be like that. We don't want it to be like back in 2008 when we were going through a real rough recession after that housing bubble, right? We don't want to go through that. And hopefully we're not led there, but, it's starting to happen. We're starting to see demand go down every single month. And then, it's not just the U.S. Overseas, I'm looking at this. It's getting really bad for Germany. It's so bad that they are nationalizing their gas giant Uniper. So Uniper is the biggest importer of natural gas. And I guess the situation has gotten so bad that Germany themselves decided that they just have to take over the company. And they have to dictate what's being done within the company, right? And, I don't know if this will solve things, because basically with that Nord Stream pipeline being cut off, I don't know where to go get the gas from, right? It's really that simple. You got one source, and if that source is cut off, where's the gas coming from? I don't know. But it sounds like it's getting pretty dire for Germany, and they're spinning up these nuclear plants that they shut off, right? So Europe, as a whole, a lot of countries going through their own problems right now. So definitely not good for inflation, for their fiat, and part of the reason why DXY continues to go up. And I've been talking about that for quite some time. All right. Now, besides those things, what else? Ford this morning warned that supply chain issues is going to cost them $1 billion in unexpected costs. And then their stock tanked, the biggest since 2011. So going back 11 years, they shedded $7 billion in market cap. So not only do we have economic struggles right now, right, but there's still supply chain issues. So this, on top of everything else, is making things worse, right? So a lot of bad stuff, a lot of bad stuff. But all this, right, all this is leading up to the main topic, which is, how is Michael Saylor preparing for this? What did Michael Saylor do today to prepare for the worst, to prepare for tomorrow's meeting, to prepare for oncoming recession and more supply issues and all the financial troubles that we're seeing?
What did he do? Well, I think you guys guessed it. He bought more Bitcoin. That's what he did. We've been waiting for this. At least I have been. I've been waiting for Michael Saylor to announce some big, purchase of Bitcoin. He said recently he was going to sell $500 million worth of stock to buy Bitcoin, right? And what did he do? Well, he bought Bitcoin, but very little amount, not $500 million worth. In fact, he only bought 301, and I say only because in context of how much he has. For everyone else, 300 is a lot. But he bought 301 for $6 million, average price of $19,851. Unfortunately, every time Michael Saylor buys Bitcoin, immediately Bitcoin dumps and goes lower. Like I don't recall the last time Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin and then it started rallying. It hasn't been happening for years. So even at the low price of $19,800, he is down on that purchase. But this is only $6 million worth. In total, he holds 130,000 Bitcoin, is in the billions, right? I should clarify, MicroStrategy does, not himself. He himself does hold tens of thousands, but I forgot the latest count. He doesn't really share that often. I think last time he said it was like 20,000 or something, which is crazy amount. But anyways, so how is Michael Saylor preparing? Well, he's DCing right now. Right, I think maybe he's learning. Maybe he has that $500 million on hand, but he's DCing slowly right now. He's not jumping in $500 million at 19.8. I think what he's doing is slowly buying in. He has not been buying for quite some time, right? And he's just buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. That's what's happening, right? And we'll see if tomorrow turns out to be a horrific day. Maybe he'll buy the dip again and keep buying the dip. So the important thing about buying the dip and DCAing is you got to have money on hand. Unfortunately, it seems like MicroStrategy ran out of money. They spent everything they had, sold bonds, took out loans, right? Put their Bitcoin as collateral. So basically, they don't have large sums of cash anymore. So this recent thing is to sell off stock, but it could not have come at a worse time because MicroStrategy stock has been tanking along with everything else, right? But maybe he has done it. We don't know. I haven't seen the filing that says he's done it. But the important thing is to have cash so you're able to DCA, right? So if that's the case, he's only spending $6 million out of his $500 million, so you got plenty more to go, right? So that would be a smart move. But that is how Michael Saylor is preparing and how a lot of people are preparing because, quite honestly, Bitcoin is not going away. I've been saying that. Bitcoin is still strong, getting stronger, and there's a lot of indicators that show that it's near bottom or at bottom, and we're recovering from there, right? But the main thing is Bitcoin is the one that people are turning to. Bitcoin is the asset people are learning about, and you hear about it more and more. People who are fed up with everything I just started a show with, everything about the Fed, about banks, about treasuries going up, about rent going up, about demand decreasing, about fears of, recession, hyperinflation, whatever you're looking at, right? Everyone is thinking, well, what's better? What's better? They're scratching their heads, and they're coming to the conclusion that Bitcoin's better, right? So you got to stay strong and stay focused and be patient. I've been showing you guys charts like this for quite some time. 0.1, 1, 10, whatever. Just keeps going up. More and more people are coming into the space. The price short term may not reflect that, but more and more Bitcoin is being removed from circulation as more and more people are starting to learn the benefits, the true benefits of Bitcoin, right? So don't give up. Don't give up. All right. Now, what else is there? Colorado becomes the first state to accept Bitcoin as paying for taxes. I think that's false because I remember Ohio did, and then they shut it off because no one wants to spend Bitcoin to pay for taxes. Why would you? And then plus the IRS or the whatever tax agency will know your address, and then they're going to start tracking it. So why would you do that, right? So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But again, from adoption perspective, more and more are turning to Bitcoin. And also, there is a new stablecoin bill. That's interesting. That kind of talks about regulating stablecoins. And possibly requiring all of them to have collateral in terms of fiat or treasury bonds or treasury notes. So that's kind of interesting. Still is being swirled around. Nothing solidified. Nothing has been solidified yet, but we'll see. We'll see. So this could be a good thing or bad thing. I think it's more good things because it sets a framework for how stablecoins can operate legally and not get the scrutiny of, the Treasury Department, the SEC, the Fed, right? So this is coming up with like a broad framework, which could be good, which allows a lot of the stablecoins that we know of today continue to operate freely, right? So it could be good. Could be good. All right. What else is there? Let's see. Just a few other things. I know some people have been asking about Helium, and Helium has been doing quite well. I mean, they were doing bad, and then now they're kind of doing well because this whole move to Solana, a lot of people didn't like it, but they did form a big partnership with T-Mobile, so now there is going to be a new mobile service called Helium Mobile that will switch between Helium's own 5G service and T-Mobile's service for 4G and 3G, right? And offering everyone crypto rewards in terms of the mobile token. So I think that's pretty cool. It just shows that, usage is growing. The dApps utility aspect to crypto and blockchain is growing. It's not just DeFi. It's not just staking and lending. There are actually a lot of cool, legitimate projects like Helium that operate and exist, right? Maybe we don't have millions of users yet, but one day we could get there, right? We have decentralized storage that this could piggyback off of. And, of course, there's many other things like encryption and key services and identity services. All those things could be built in the near future. Cool stuff. So just want to mention that. And then what else? Just a little update on what's that? Voyager assets. Right now, Binance and FTX both have bidded roughly around 50 million. Binance's offer is a little bit higher, so we'll see who wins. But overall, they're only paying 50 million, so pennies on the dollar compared to how much assets Voyager actually has. In fact, Voyager is getting back $200 million from FTX. So the 50 million for the 200 million, that seems a pretty good deal. But again, I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. Also, some people mentioned to me this morning about Robinhood adding USDC. What's the deal with that? Don't know quite yet, but there is definitely a connection because FTX is partnering up with Circle for some kind of fiat accounting and fiat onboarding on-ramp. Right, and we know FTX is part owner of Robinhood, which is probably why they added USDC. So it's all connected right now. So FTX is trying to do something big, or Sam Bankman-Fried is trying to do something big with Robinhood and Circle and everything else that he owns. So there's something going on there, but there's more to the story. And according to this, they'll discuss further stuff during the San Francisco Converge 2022 event, which I don't know when it is, but it'll probably be soon. But yeah, there's something going on there. All right, that's pretty much it. Overall, tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a very big day. So this is what Michael Saylor did. What are you going to do? How are you going to prepare? Let's do some Q&A. Swarma. Oh, that's quite funny, but I don't know why you said that. Joshua Smith says, slow pump to 50K from now till March of 2023. Well, this morning, I was on CTO Larson's show. First time I spoke to him, good guy. I'm going to replay his interview this Friday. But he asked me about, or someone in his audience asked about the autumn equinox. And it just so happens it's coming up in a few days. And it just so happens the last few years, 2021, 2020, after the autumn equinox, Bitcoin rallied significantly. So maybe, Joshua, you have something there. Maybe we will pump from now to March because the equinox. I don't know. I'm just mentioning that because there's some people that really do believe, how alignment of the stars, astrology, the moon and all that stuff. Sometimes there's something to it. Only $6 million for Michael Strange. Yeah, it is a low amount. I mean, it's really a drop in a bucket for him, but we'll see. I think he's just holding on. He's learning from his past mistakes, being maybe a little bit too aggressive with his huge buys, right? So now maybe he's just going to do little buys, DCA, true DCA, Let's see. Speaking of Metaverse Orange Lambo, my wife just bought the kids that Meta Quest 2, and they're playing around with it. It's actually pretty wild. Not as realistic as I guess as a true metaverse, but it's a work in progress. That's pretty cool. XRP is the new hedge against the Fed. I'm not quite sure that is true, even though it did have a good rally today and yesterday, mostly because of CFTC showing up their office, but not quite sure that's a new hedge against the Fed. But I do want Ripple to win that case against Gensler, that's for sure. That $6 million is all cash. He could find that in his couch. Yeah, probably. Why is Raul so bullish on Solana? I have no idea. He was very bullish on Ethereum. I don't know if he changed his stance on that, but I don't know why he turned to Solana. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Solana. You guys know my thoughts on it. It has its problems, but just like a lot of other chains out there, it's still early. They're trying to solve it, right? And they could get through it. They're still one of the big L1s out there. But I don't know why Raul Paul is so bullish right now at this point in time. With ETH dropping proof of work, do you think all ASIC manufacturers start promoting Cadena? Seems like Cadena is going to get a pump next bull run. Thoughts? I see what you're trying to do, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The demand for Cadena miners is still very low. There's no way that all ASIC miners will just shift the capability to Cadena miners. Even though Bitmain did already, they already have one. But I doubt the demand for ASIC miners for Cadena is nearly as high as Ethereum. So I don't think so, no. Can it get a pump next bull run? Yes, but your logic there is a little flawed. Would you avoid buying alts in a bear market as they bleed against BTC and may not make all-time highs again? You know what? I used to think that, but now I don't anymore because it's pretty obvious we are in a very dire time right now. Major macro issues going on. The market is weak, and despite all that, Bitcoin dominance is below 40%. It's not like before. It's not like before where Bitcoin dominance shoots up to 70% and all the alts bleed to nothing. Even though alts have bled, it's not like before. So, no, Ryan, I don't agree with that. But, your selection of alts have to be good too. A lot of the smaller cap, micro caps have gone down and they may never recover to their previous high. Do you think Gensler is shopping around for a blockchain to run a CBDC? Probably not shopping, probably creating his own. And it's not his responsibility, it's the Treasury Department. And I think the Treasury Department already teamed up with a few people from MIT, and they're kind of exploring, that right now. I don't know. I think more likely to go create their own chain. I don't think to go jump on into any existing chain. It's too risky for them. They would want complete control over that chain. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Raul Paul flip? Did he really flip? Did he really give up on Ethereum, or he just kind of bullish on both? Mason Storm says, and worst of all, you kept your listeners away from XRP. I think I did them a favor. So you're judging XRP's one-day gains as something that makes you forget the last 4 or 5 years? No. You do realize XRP is still like 90% down from its previous high, right? Back from 2018. Not back in 2021, from 2018. So who's actually right? Anyways, you know what? I'm not trying to pick on XRP. I'm rooting for Ripple to win that SEC lawsuit. I really want them to win that lawsuit, right? But if you're in crypto, you want to make some money, be diversified. Don't be all so bullish on one crypto like XRP, because if you are, you're sitting on negative 90% gains for like 4 or 5 years. And that's not a good thing. It doesn't feel good. You missed out on a ton of gains from not holding on anything else. So maybe diversify a little bit. Jeff, I appreciate it. Am I going to do a live stream for tomorrow's press conference? I'm thinking about it. Probably. But those press conferences, man, they're so boring. And then the reporters ask the same questions over and over and over again. But, I may have to. Are you DCing to the SEC token? I mean, Ethereum? Yes, I have been. So, yes, I have. Fortune favors the brave, according to Matt Damon. Yes, except he was paid to say that, but generally I believe that. Speaking of macro, did you hear about Putin canceling his announcement and Russia article saying nukes are an option? I did see that he canceled his announcement. I don't know what that means exactly, but nukes are not an option. I don't buy that. I don't one bit, but, there's always the threat of that, but I don't think it's going to come down to that. What time is it tomorrow? Probably around 1:30 Central Time. It's usually around 1:30 Central Time. Algo or Avalanche? I like both. I like Avalanche a little more, but Algo has been doing very well recently. So I like both. Algo has a big presence in South America or Latin America. So, and NFTs and a few other things. So I think they're on their way. John, welcome. Two members today. Welcome, both of you guys. 2 p.m. Stu, I appreciate that. Appreciate your enthusiasm. That's for sure. You promote nothing but hype coins. So Ethereum is a hype coin. BNB is a hype coin. There's many that do well. Of course, there's many that do well during bull runs that I've recommended, and some that haven't done well since then. But that doesn't mean that I only hyped hype coins. Mason, I think you're just really pissed off because XRP is not doing well for you and you want to take it out on someone like me. But you know what? If you enjoy XRP, you enjoy XRP. There's no need to try to attack others to try to pump your own bags because it's not going to help. It hasn't helped XRP for 5 years. So let's just leave it at that. But you know what? I hope, again, that Ripple wins a lawsuit against the SEC because I think that's a big, big deal. We don't want Gary to have more power. We want Ripple to shut them down so that they're a little more humble, right? And right now, I just covered how they believe they own and control all of Ethereum. So we need someone to fight that. We need someone to go against that, right? Another member, welcome. Will Doge continue on in this bear market? Well, it has been. Look at it. It's still in top 10. You know, it's not easy to hold on top 10. It's really not easy. For projects to actually hold on top 10 takes an enormous amount of support. And the fact that they are still number 10 shows you how much support Doge has. So I think they will survive this bear market. Did I get that bottle of 1942 yet? No, I did not. I looked for it at Costco, didn't see it there. So I have to look somewhere else. MetaMate said, hey, George, I asked Charles about his age. Yes, he confirmed he was born in 1987. Grateful from Nepal. Well, thanks for asking for all of us. I still have a hard time believing he's 34, but good for him. That means he still has youth, he has wealth, and he has a tremendous community. You know, what more can he ask for, right? So good for him. But still, if he looks like this at 34, what is he going to look like at 54? You know? Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But, you know, the Vassal hard fork is coming, and we'll see what happens with Cardano afterwards. DXY is overheated. A lot of people agree with you. I've been saying that, but the DXY is not a stock. People like chart it, thinking, oh, double top is coming and, you know, all this resistances and trying to apply Elliott wave to it. You know, DXY doesn't work that way. DXY is simply a measurement of the dollar strength versus other fiat currencies. And until the economic situation improves with those countries and those currencies get stronger, well, DXY is going to continue to get stronger. So that's the unfortunate thing. And until we hear something that helps these other countries, the DXY is going to continue to be strong. Do you think these major alts like Link, Ada will make all-time highs again? Yes, they will. They did it last year. What makes you think they won't do it again? These are the big boys. You got to stick with the big boys. Stick with the ones that have the most followers, investors, the most dApps, the most transactions, the most TVL. Right? They are the ones that will be held on to and will continue to grow.
Any thoughts on the Sheeb Eternity game? I never played it, so I don't know. I don't know if you did. If you did, tell me how you like it. Do you think the SEC wanting to control ETH shows its true potential? No, I honestly think what's going on right now is because of the lawsuit with Ripple. Because SEC doesn't want to lose that lawsuit. They really don't. They want to win because then it basically makes them have authority to go after every project and just take over everything, right? And that's why it's so important. And that's why I think they're doing what they're doing right now, kind of declaring Ethereum a security without officially declaring it as security, right? So that's why they're kind of tiptoeing, because for them to reverse their decision, I think there's a lot of implications there that we're not even thinking about. Can Harmony make a comeback? I don't know. I don't know if they can. I hope they can, but I'm neutral on them these days. I don't know if they could recover that 100 million that was lost recently. Cactus Jack, I can only DCA so much. Well, you know what? If you can't DCA anymore, just continue to hold on, right? You really have three choices. You could do nothing and hodl. That's always a good choice. Sometimes that's the best choice. If you have the ability to, you DCA, right? That's another choice. Or you can panic sell. And panic selling now, after things have gone down so much, I don't know if that's wise. We're much closer to bottom than we are to top, right? But again, it depends on your situation. Some people leveraged. Some people bought on credit cards. Some people took out loans to buy crypto, right? And if you're drowning in fees or interest, or you can't pay your bills, then yeah, you probably should sell and settle those things first. Remember, first rule of investing is don't invest more than what you can afford to lose, meaning you only invest extra money, extra income, things that will not affect your day-to-day bills, your livelihood, right? Keep that in mind. I will never play the educational people or educational video. Well, I know you can't because I'm the only one that has it. How's the house advancing? You know what? Finally got some updates with it. Should be settling. Everything should be done by the end of this week or early next week, and then we will break ground soon. So unfortunately, it's been delayed a couple weeks. Seems like every week it's been delayed a couple weeks, but now we're finally getting to the I guess the final steps, right? So I'm very excited about it, and I will be doing a lot more videos about that house on my other channel, I Am George. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I'll let you go. Overall, tomorrow is a big day. Very big day. You know what? Tomorrow morning, we still won't know. We're not going to know the rate, how much the Fed will raise rates until like 1 or 2 p.m., something like that. But, we'll see how the markets react tomorrow. Tune in regardless. Tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then we'll see what else is developing in the morning. All right? Smash the like, subscribe to the channel,
And I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.